It was another day for business as usual for us. We were about closing our shop when a good old customer came by. "How many shoots would you want, sir?" "Hun, I think 3 will be good." So weirdly, I saw a ghostly appearance beside the man in the camera. I was stunned. I destroyed the camera later that week only for it to reappear in my bag. This camera is cursed. What do we do? The oddest part of my life, in the area of weirdness, wasn't disappointing. It all started from last June, the 15th of June to be precise. It was another day for business as usual for us. There had been more shoots than usual today. It was another highly strange but yet rewarding day. James, my childhood and career friend, a tall, fit dude with a dark brown complexion, was the major reason why I had excelled in photography. He was my driving source of motivation. We had both took up a 24-month professional photography program and decided to make it a career job. In a way, we both inspired each other, and that was a good reason for why we still chose to work together. We even lived together in a 2-bedroom bungalow. Quite expensive, but the money coming from the studio didn't let us notice that. On some odd days he would, with a phone call, signal his fiancée to come over, Sophia. A willowy lady in her early 20s who is just as witty and intelligent as she is attractive, a perfect description of the cliché. Beauty with brains. She possessed dainty qualities that made her easily wanted. I know what you are thinking, and it is a capital no. Well, maybe sometimes I did think about her and... well, you get the idea. James emptied some contents from the bag he wore. He brought out something that looked like a really small black box. "I got you a new mini camera, man," and handed over a camera to me. "Thanks, nigger," I said. I had been lately having problems with my camera's shutter, which makes some of the photos I take look overexposed or totally black. Even when I clean the lens surface or adjust the shutter speed, it still occasionally lets me down. My excitement visibly showed in my face. "How can I thank you enough, bro?" "Shh," he interjected and feigned a grin. "Stop talking like it wasn't you that got mine." "Oh, come on, that was an Nikon D6 and it was 3 years ago," I said. "Besides, this one is a Canon R5, my dream webcam. It has 45 megapixels and a shooting speed of 12 FPS. That's way huge, man, and frigging good." "Damn. Thanks. Must have cost you a fortune." "Couldn't have done lesser," he said. "At least now you don't make me do all the work when your shutter screws up." "Oh, you cunt," I said, and we both burst into laughter. "We should begin locking up," he said. "It's almost 6 p.m. I took a momentary glance at my watch. Oh my. 4:30 p.m. felt like 3 minutes ago. Time always seems to travel faster here. I thought I was the only one that noticed that," he said. He looked at a part of the room, then returned his gaze to me. "Lock the windows and count the money while I sweep," he said, and we disengaged. I was about shutting the second window when I heard a familiar voice say, "Thank God, I'm just in time." I turned to find out who this person could be and realized it was Mr. Zach, a good old customer. He was in his late 40s and dressed quite corporately today. He wore a gray suit, with a deep red bow tie and a white shirt. "How many shoots would you want, sir?" James asked. He had already dropped the broom and was now adjusting and readjusting his camera lens. "I think 3 will do," Mr. Zack said. "It's been quite a while," I said and repositioned the seamless paper backdrop. "Why don't you take the shot with your camera?" James said and winked at me. I gave him a funny stern look. "Yeah, sure," I said and took out my new Canon camera from my bag. I steadied the camera and utilized it in the bid to attain perfectionism. Very typical of Bob. I could sit here all day and he hasn't taken a shot, Mr. Zack said. Always using his time-consuming antics. "Yeah," James chuckled. "He never disappoints when he is presented with the opportunity of doing that," he said. "Would you guys just give me the brief time excitement for taking my first shot on my new camera?" I said, my attention still concentrated on the camera. I rotated the focus ring and was about to tap the shutter release button when something really weird happened. I noticed a black shadowy personality standing just right next to Mr. Zack. It looked kind of transparent. I quickly took my eye off the camera and took a better look at Mr. Zack. There was nothing. "What's the matter, old boy? You do know I don't have much time, do you?" he said. I still stood staring in disbelief at Mr. Zack. "Is there a problem with the camera?" James asked. "Wow, it's perfect. Just my head, it aches," I said, slowly taking off my gaze from Mr. Zack. "Oh, let me take it for you then," he said and was about to proceed to take his camera when I said, "No, it's fine, just a slight pain in the head. I'll take the picture." "All right," James said. I positioned again and looked back into the minicam. I rotated the focus ring again. But this time there was no hazy creature, so I just pressed the shutter button. After repeating the same process 3 times, James proceeded to retrieve the pictures from the Kodak Smile Classic printer. "Here you go, sir," James said, handing over the 8x10 photo print to him. "Wait," I said, shoving the picture from Mr. Zack's hands. Something was not right about the picture. I took a proper look and saw that black shadowy creature taking the same stance it took when I had first tried the camera. It stood perhaps 6-7 feet tall. It had no shape and it looked like its robes were made out of darkness. I became petrified. "Do you see that?" I asked. "See what?" James said. "The picture. That black thing. Bob, there is nothing wrong with the picture. Your camera captured it perfectly. No grains or blurs, it's sharp enough," he said. I was stunned. "You mean you don't see this?" I said. My hands were trembling already and my feet were becoming wobbly. "Give me the pictures and take my money," Mr. Afian said. And with that reclaimed the photos from me. After he had paid for the photos, he hurriedly walked out of the studio. I woke up on a chilly Thursday morning to a call from a private number. "Hello, am I speaking with Mr. Bob?" The caller said. It was a female caller. "Yes, you are. This is Zack's wife," I know that he was a good friend of yours. Was? I asked quizzically. There was a brief sigh from the other end. He died in a car crash 3 days ago. What? I exclaimed. Wait, 3 days ago? I asked, but she already hung up. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I hastily searched for my backpack. When I found it, I took out my camera and studied it for some seconds. What exactly is this thing? I knew something was wrong when I first saw that hazy figure. I thought. I went to my window side and slid it open. I took one last look at the camera in my hands. I don't entirely know what you are, but what I know is that you are cursed. I muttered, and then I let it slip from my palm and watched it accelerate down the building. I watched as it hit the ground and the lens roll away with the flashlock badly damaged, leaving the camera deformed, which was a good sign. Probably before 1 p.m. the garbage truck collects it, and before 3 p.m. it will be dumped in the landfill. Good riddance to evil rubbish, I said. For the last 3 days, I've been having weird experiences with the camera. At times I had woken up at night to see it on my nightstand with its lens directly focused on me. That was awkward enough, but I never really took it serious, and now I can only imagine how many people have been killed by my carelessness. So many coffins were resting on my conscience. At work that day I had to use Yinka's camera because he had said he would be hanging out with Sophia. I got to even realize that I forgot my backpack at home, but luckily for me I had another smaller one at work, so all going good. People were still coming in for shoots too. It wasn't long before James eventually showed up. "Hey man, what's up?" he said as he slid the door close. "How's work going?" "I'm afraid there are some bad news," I said, and began telling him about Mr. Zach's misfortune, leaving out the camera part. When I was done, James was visibly shaken and his eyes looked like he had woken up from a long night of lucid dreams. "This is a worse shit, man," he said. "He was such a good old man. May his soul rest in perfect peace." "Amen," I said with an air of finality. "How was your date with Sophia?" "Oh, was great," he said, grinning from ear to ear. "Your camera is super sharp, man. I never presumed it to be that neat." I stared in bewilderment at him. "What do you mean?" I said. "My what?" "What's up with the face? You took my camera. I didn't have anything to take shots, so I had to find yours. Unfortunately for me, you forgot your bag. Your camera is still safe, man." He hastily reached into his bag and brought it out. I was too stunned to say anything. He raised a brow. "Why is your face like that?" he said. "Is there a problem?" "James," I said, finding the right words to say. "Where exactly did you find this camera?" I asked. He looked puzzled. "Your bag, of course," he blurted. There was some edge of anger in his tone. "I took a couple of shots on Sophia. The weather wasn't so great for an outside scene, so I took a few." "Your camera is fine. Stop looking at me like I broke it. You took photos of Sophia," I interjected. "Let me see the photos," and then I hesitated. "Where is Sophia?" Okay, I really don't like how this is going. What the fuck is wrong?" Sophia said she'd dropped by at our house. She forgot her Swiss shades. What is wrong with her pictures? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and let's hit 1,000 subs in 1 month. Thank you.